Today's lectionary reading was from the book of Romans 16. And what I really got blessed today was how many women were the leaders in the church in Rome. Consider Romans 16, verse 1. I commend to you our sister Phoebe, a deacon of the church. So people who say that women cannot even be ordained as a deacon have a problem with this passage, because we find that Phoebe was a deaconess of the church in that area. And then on top of that, verse 3 of Romans 16 says, greet Priscilla and Aquila, my co-workers in Christ Jesus. Well, Priscilla, as you know, was the wife of Aquila. And Paul actually led them to the Lord, led them into a fuller life. And he mentions them as co-laborers, co-workers with him. He didn't say they were sub-workers. They were not sub-deacons, sub-ministers. No, and he includes Priscilla. And interestingly, he puts the name Priscilla first before her husband because she was the leader. And notice what it says in verse 5. Greet also the church that meets at their house. So they were actually pastors and had a church at their house. So we find here Priscilla was a pastor. So here we find women can be ordained as deacons. They can be ordained as pastors / priest. But then something interesting is mentioned as well. In verse 7, it says, greet Andronicus and Junia, my fellow Jews who have been in prison with me. Notice he mentions two names, Andronicus and Junia. Andronicus means a man of victory, but Junia is actually a woman's name. And notice what he says, they're fellow Jews who have been in prison with me, and now watch this, they are outstanding among the apostles. Notice, Junia was considered one of the early apostles, a woman apostle. So that means women can also be apostles and bishops of the Church of Jesus Christ. So for those who are against women in the ministry, read the book of Romans, Romans 16, and you'll find three wonderful leaders of the church. And for those who say, but Bishop, Jesus only picked men to be his apostles, but he also only picked Jewish men. So are you going to argue that only Jews can be bishops and pastors and deacons? I don't think so. The truth is, God has poured out his Spirit on all flesh, both men and women. So the answer to the question is, can women be ordained in the ministry in all offices? The answer is yes.